Hi, it's Glenys Cox here, and this series of videos is about setting your horse riding, teaching and study goals over the next year. Now, it doesn't have to be New Year's Day, setting New Year's resolutions. It doesn't really even have to be setting your goals over the next year. But for the purpose of the video, we've made it over the next year, and it'll depend on how big or how small your goals are as to what period of time that you actually set them over. The first step is to state your intent. So if you say something like, oh, I think I might study, it's a bit wishy-washy. Yeah, maybe you will, maybe you won't, but it's not really stating your intent. If you say something like, I want to get over my fear of jumping, it's a bit in the negative. You're thinking about fear of jumping rather than I want to be confident when I jump. And then the next one would be, I want to teach people to ride, but it's still not good enough to really state your intent. So what we've got here is a table, we call it the smarter way of setting goals, and we've got S is before specific, so I plan to, I mean to, you're really specific in what you want to do, rather than that bit wishy-washy. Measurable is how far, how long, so that you actually know that you've achieved the goal. All right? Achievable is, are you able to achieve it? Has anyone ever achieved it? Are you able to achieve it within the next year? Is it realistic and relevant to your overall goals? All right? So, they can't be in conflict with each other, but they've got to be relevant with each other. Timed means, like I said, we've talked about setting goals within the next year, but if you want to set them in 3 months, in 10 years, doesn't matter, as long as you've got a timeline on it. The next one here is ethical. So, would you ride your horse to win at a competition at all costs? What happens if he's lame? What happens if he's not feeling well that day? Make your goals ethical, and then towards the end, there's got to be a reason for doing certain goals. So there's got to be a reason that you can be rewarded at once you've achieved those goals. So the next one here is, I'd like to jump my horse 1 metre by the end of the year. And we could have a bit more of 1 metre. Does that mean that you'd like your horse to jump 1 metre? Does that mean with another rider? Does that mean with you? Does that mean around a course of 1 metre jumps, or just once over 1 metre? It could be a little bit more measurable there. Achievable, most horses are able to jump 1 metre, so I'd say fairly achievable. Realistic, is it relevant to everything else that you want to do with your horse? It does say by the end of the year, so time bound. Ethical, I can't see that it wouldn't be ethical, but is there a reason for you wanting to do that? Okay, this one here, the next one is, I plan for one of my students to be selected in the equestrian team for the Olympics this year. It could be that you've already got several students longlisted or shortlisted for the Olympics. I'd like to know which equestrian team, what discipline they're riding in, and that could be quite realistic. But if you've got students and none of them have ever competed before, I'd wonder if it was realistic and achievable. I'd think about that. So if it's realistic and achievable, we've got a couple of others here that are a little bit more specific. This one is, I plan to achieve at least 55% in 3 official tests, advanced tests within the next year, so I can qualify to ride at the national championships. So we're presuming it's dressage, so I plan is quite positive to achieve, and we've got some measurement here, 55% in 3 official advanced tests within the next year. And there's also a reason, so I can qualify to ride at the national championships. So that's well stated if you're already riding, competing, medium advanced, if you're already training at FEI. If it's well within your reach, that's great. And I think that's probably a well stated one. There's a reason for that. The next one is, I plan to become qualified as a horse riding instructor this year, so I can get a job teaching people how to ride horses. Now, a plan like that is, it's well stated. It's great if someone already has horse care and horse riding knowledge and they're quite proficient at that. If they're studying to become qualified as a horse riding instructor, that's quite achievable. And then there's a reason, so I can get a job teaching people how to ride horses. So that's quite well stated as well. So the main thing is that when you are working on setting your goals, is that they're smarter. Remember, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound, ethical, and rewardable for a reason. Okay, and remember to watch the other videos in these series.